Red button, button. I'm going to rap about the red button.
Race car spelled backwards is still race car. This is the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Brad, and with me, as always, is Jamie, and this is the Race Car Spelled Backwards podcast. Jamie, how you doing, man?
Oh, man, I'm so awesome.
Awesome, so awesome, you can't stand it.
No, I can't stand at all.
I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not going to. No comment, because you're seating right now. You're seating.
Probably should have done the drinking game before the podcast.
Yeah, you lost.
I did.
Well, we went to Talladega, had a great time. I had a good time, at least.
Oh, yeah, I had a blast.
So Jamie actually watched the race on TV last night, and his ranking of the overall race was better in person than on TV.
A whole point difference.
So, I mean, I'm with him. I've always said going to the race is better than watching it on TV. A lot of people on social media had a lot of negative things to say about Talladega, so I was curious how the TV actually portrayed the race. It's just something about being in the stands. When you can feel those cars go by at 190 miles an hour, you can hear it, you can smell it. I mean, it's just something about it that's special.
And you can see the people around you enjoying it.
Oh, well, there were some people around us you didn't want to see.
Well, old Beth over there was on row whatever. We're not going to say the row.
It was row 32.
You got to pay for...
It was row 32. We could say row 32.
Large,
section.
If you're large on an airplane and you don't fit in your seat, don't you have to buy the second seat?
I believe you do.
Do you think you have to do that at Talladega?
Do you think it hurt her butt cheeks to squeeze them in between the two handrails?
And folks, you know, I'm a little overweight. It's not a... But this was... we're talking a 2 dozen donut at Dunkin' drive-thru for breakfast for yourself.
This is intentional.
Yeah.
I honestly believe to be that big, it's
I felt bad for the person. I don't know how...
The person next to her?
Well, that person too.
I'm hoping
very large person.
They were probably with her though, so they didn't.
I felt really bad for her, but I think you can eat less.
Well, a diet, exercise, walking.
I mean, I understand.
Something.
I shot up to two.
Maybe you don't eat 2 dozen donuts for breakfast.
I shot up to 250 during the lockdown.
It's like
I couldn't do anything but go to Walmart and get donuts.
That seat looked like a can of biscuits that had busted open.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, but it wouldn't just. They wouldn't
Pillsbury tubes.
They said.
Bam.
They said 70% of the people at the race yesterday were from out of state. You believe that?
Well, I did see a car walking to and we walked, what do you think, 1.5 miles, 2 miles to get to the car?
Probably. Well, we parked in turn 4 and we sat in turn 1. So
yeah, it was a good walk.
We walked.
And we didn't go direct. We had to circle around the track to get to the car.
According to my watch, we walked 8 miles yesterday.
I believe it.
Yeah. So not bad, though.
But I saw Minnesota.
We did more than that on pit road at the 600.
Yeah, we did.
We were like 17 miles up and down pit road. So,
but I saw Minnesota tags, Michigan tags. I talked to someone at a vending station or whatever. It's not a vending station. Jeez.
What is it?
I'm having word problems today from the beer pong we played before the race. Oh, this is a day after the race.
Yeah.
Am I still playing beer pong?
I think you're still at the race.
Yeah. I talked to someone from Minnesota.
You're more confused than our president.
They were wearing a Viking shirt. My wife's from Minnesota. So I asked them about the Vikings game, and they said they won, but they still suck.
Who did Minnesota play?
St. Louis.
They didn't play the Washington.
No, not St. Louis.
The Washington State Commodores.
No. Brad just found out the Commodores are from the city of Washington, D.C., not from Washington State.
Yeah, I don't know how I've never known that. I guess because I'm not a big NFL fan. I mean, the Falcons. I'm from Atlanta. We've had the Falcons my whole life. I mean, that's nothing to be proud of.
Even my whole life. That's how long they've been here.
Well, that's nothing to be proud of. So I've just never paid attention. So in my head, I associated the Washington Redskins with Washington State, not Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. to me is the capital. That's the old folks' home.
Yeah, it's called the capital.
Called Washington, D.C. Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't know they had a football team.
I mean,
they have a baseball team. I knew that.
Isn't the U.S. Capitol really just a nursing home?
It is.
For both parties.
No doubt. It is a party.
They've got nothing else to do but sit there and drill on each other and fight over applesauce and pudding.
And see dead people.
Well, they're 3/4 dead. I mean, come on.
He's like, come on, stand up, Marcia.
And then, you got what's her face, Fancy Pants from San Francisco, Pelosi.
Yeah.
She's got the perkiest boobs I've ever seen on an 85-year-old.
I've honestly never paid attention to that.
I just saw her on the news.
In a bikini?
Well, she was kind of stumbling on a stage to do a press release.
Her in a bikini would look about like those people we saw at Talladega yesterday.
Yeah, they would. And she needs to go. She needs to go to Talladega.
She might have been there.
She could have been. Is she a Republican?
Who?
Potosi?
Potosi? No.
No?
She's mafia.
She dresses like a Republican, though.
Why?
Aren't red states considered? When I saw her with her perky boobs,
yeah,
she's wearing a red dress. Isn't that Republican colors?
Maybe it was a banquet. And it was a red dress banquet.
Well, she was confused when she got up there. She forgot why she was there.
Oh, I believe that.
Maybe she was just showing off her new plastic surgery.
But don't you think people of that age get confused? I mean, when you're in your 70s, it's okay to be a little confused. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I heard our last president accidentally went to Burger King. We all know he loves McDonald's.
Yeah. See?
He asked for a Big Mac at the drive-thru window.
In your 70s, you get confused. Look at Darryl Waltrip, for example. The whole last season on TV, he called the drivers by the wrong name. But it was because of his age. Old people get confused. It's okay. But I don't like DW any less.
In his mind, he was watching a race from 1992.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What made you think of 92? Is the set of 92 tracks cards behind you?
Racing baseball cards that I read over. That's why I came up with 1992.
I tweeted a picture of them, so people will know what we're talking about.
I mean, I saw Corey LaJoie's daddy in there.
Randy.
Did
you see Johnny Benson?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch Richie Rich, the movie? Like not the animated, the real life? Nobody looks just like Johnny Benson.
Okay.
He looks like Richie Rich's dad.
Yeah, he does.
I've always said that. That's around the time I got into NASCAR. It was probably 92. Second grade. That's about right. We've added some new decorations to the studio.
I think I was in college then.
In 92?
Yeah, I think so.
I know I was in second grade.
I'm not sure if I was in college.
You might not.
Oh, no. If I can't remember, I was in college.
You were definitely in college?
Yeah. Wasn't that when Nirvana had Stinky Teenage Spirits?
Was that 92? It was the early 90s. I know that. But I didn't listen to Nirvana when they were out because I was in second grade. And, it's just not a...
Man, I was listening to
I was listening to Guns N' Roses in second grade.
I think I was in high school when they came out.
Guns N' Roses?
Yeah.
I think a lot of the people we saw in line for the concession stand went to see Guns N' Roses. Did you see the lady with she was easily 50s. She had no chin.
The one that popped her boobs out for some beads?
No,
the
not
guy
her.
Was giving Talladega beads?
No, not her. It was she had no chin, or just mouth to neck, and she had on the cowboy boots with the frills.
Yeah, she kept coming up and down.
Yeah.
She didn't sit still at all for the whole race.
She was very skinny.
But I never saw a beer in her hand. What was she doing all the time?
I think she was probably out of the meth woods.
Could be.
I mean, she looked like it. She looked like she had a hard day. A hard weekend.
Maybe she drove up from South Alabama from the swamp. She was a swamp person.
Nah, that's more Central Alabama.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, in Macon, it's Central Georgia.
That's between Panama and Montgomery, where Hank Williams Sr. is from.
See, that's like very derogatory.
I guess that would be South.
Is that racist?
Hank Sr.?
Well, he may. I don't know about him personally. But we used to call people from the swamp people, and that was derogatory.
Ever seen a swamp donkey?
I've never seen a swamp donkey. Now I've been in a swamp.
When I was doing heating and air one time under a house, and this thing come running out from under the furnace, and the guy I was working with started whacking at it with a hammer.
And what, a possum?
I don't know what it was. I said, man,
possum.
What was that? Because it crawled over my foot, and he goes, oh, it was nothing, just a swamp donkey.
What is that?
That was as far as I got. So I was really hoping you had seen a swamp donkey. I'm thinking it's a possum out from under a furnace in a crawl space is a swamp donkey.
Now, there was this girl, and I'm going to say the name of my elementary school because it's gone. They tore it down. Tinsley TD Elementary School. It's gone now. They raised it. But we had a swamp girl down from the Altmohe River, south of Macon. Bond Swamp was where she grew up.
That was the name of the town?
No, that was the name of the swamp.
Oh.
But she was like 16 in second grade. Literally. And she was telling us stuff I would ask my older brother, my dad, my uncles, my cousins. And they're like, where are you learning that shit, boy? You're too young for that shit. And I'm like,
Swamp girl.
Swamp girl. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like,
it's a moon-eyed people.
And to a second grader, a 16-year-old looks as old as a teacher. I'm like, she's as old as a teacher.
A second grader is usually 7. So she's got 9 years on you. She's driving to the second grade.
She had a license.
I believe
don't know if DFAX made her go to school or what.
All right, let's get back to racing, man. Talladega, was it a good race? Jeff Gluck poll, 84% says yes, 16 says no. On a scale of 1 to 10, I gave it an 8.
I give it a 7, having sitting there personally, and a 6, having watched it on television. And I'll tell you why.
Why's that?
I think a lot of people were running at 90%.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think they ran at 100%. I just think they ran smart.
They were more safe. Do you think they were making better decisions?
Yeah,
the win wasn't as important.
Yes.
Survival.
I think the drivers had a goal yesterday of finishing the race.
And most of them did. I mean,
all but 4.
You know what? And I wasn't looking for the big wreck.
I wouldn't either.
I'm fine with the race.
I would have liked to have seen more
I
would like to have seen more battles, I guess you could say, for the lead. But I think we saw it. We've seen it at other restrictor plates where they just run too wide. They cannot make that third line work, and they can't pass.
No, they couldn't. The third line created a crash.
I think it's crazy that at Atlanta, Vegas, Kansas, the runs they get are so fast at these 1.5 mile tracks, they can't block them. But then we go to somewhere like Talladega, and the run's not as fast. The draft doesn't seem like they're sucking up as fast. And
you know what was a little weird? Sometimes the inside row would be better than the outside row, and then later the outside row would be better than the inside row. I mean, we saw Chase in the last few laps.
Yeah, it didn't look
come
like
out of nowhere.
Well, he had Eric Jones so far up his rear, he was about to spin out. I mean, basically, Blaney too. See, I think that's where Blaney didn't win is because Chase had more power pushing him.
Well, I think
Michael McDowell's a heck of a driver. Nothing against him,
especially plate tracks. Well, they don't use plates anymore, don't they? They just computerize
But if everybody listening knows what a plate track is, if you don't, it's a Talladega or a Daytona. So now you do.
They used to restrict fuel going into the carburetor when they had carburetors.
Yeah. But I don't know.
But anyway, I still think it was a good race. Having watched it, I saw less on the television than I saw at the track. So, and you know what? The first Atlanta I went to, I thought that was a great race, and people ragged on it.
Yeah.
But I was there. So it was, the 600 was a great race.
The first Atlanta was awesome.
Yeah.
The second one, not as much. I was there. I think the excitement had died down between the two. So the first Talladega we had earlier this year ran about the same as this one. Now we had more wrecks, but I think, like I said, I think the guys played it. I don't think they played it safe as in they went out there and ran at 90%. I think they played it safe as in they didn't make stupid moves. They were more
Well,
cautious.
let's go over a couple of the wrecks. LaJoy had this.
That was a random tire failure.
A Phantom came and poked his tire out.
He had Texas tires on at Talladega.
I think so.
I mean, it's
what it looked like.
T and T, it can happen.
And then we had little
Harrison
Hermy, who decided I can race in the third lane, and he pulled up, but he was going 20 miles an hour slower than everyone else.
I can't do better.
And, he caused, it really wasn't a big one because he and Ty Gibbs were the only one knocked out. Most of the cars fared well.
Yeah.
Even their bodies were fine.
Well, that's that composite style body. So it's not the sheet metal.
Well, maybe they said after Harrison pulled out in front of the fast lane doing 20 miles an hour, they said, oh, this is dangerous.
Well, that lane was moving with Stenhouse leading it.
Well, you saw.
And Harrison did what he needed to do, but
he didn't have the momentum to get in front of him.
I don't think he has the momentum or the ability yet.
No, he's a youngster.
I think he made the move too soon because it looked like he hesitated. And then by the time he pulled up, they were going much faster than him by the time he committed. So
he puckered up his butt cheeks and said, "Oh."
I just think he was driving
that
over
happened.
His ability.
He lost it right in front of our seats.
I know.
That's where he went, yeah.
It was his fault 100%. Yep. He was not fast enough. He should have stayed where, if he wouldn't, he made that dumb move. That's the move that they said, let's not make.
And no one made it after that.
No.
Well,
Blaney dang near took the whole field out when he tried to.
Yeah, he pinned Kozlowski.
Yeah. I mean, Brad was about to hit the wall trying to pat him and Busher, and then they dropped to the back. And then Blaney's like, okay, I've had enough.
I can't handle this crap.
Wait, handle what? It's your fault.
But you know what? He might have not thought that was going to happen, and when it did, it freaked him out. He needed to calm down. He made the right move if he got in panic mode.
Maybe he realized I'm making those dumb moves we talked about not making. I'm making those already, so maybe I should back down a little bit.
And it was smart because it left him sitting there at the end.
Well, yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for an awesome block by Chase in the tri-oval, he might have won.
Yeah, I think Blaney would have won if Chase wouldn't have been better than him. Chase knew what he was doing.
I know.
Chase timed it right.
He's a will man.
But I think Chase had come from the back to the front or past more cars than Blaney.
Do you know he's from Georgia?
Who is?
Chase.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Elliott?
That's why he's my favorite driver.
That's why they call his dad Dawson. Awesome Bill from Dawsonville. Dawsonville, Georgia. I never knew.
Oh, I thought he was Dollar Bill, y'all.
I thought it was.
Did he win $1 million? He won the first $1 million, didn't he?
I knew Chase was from Georgia. I didn't know the Washington football team was in Washington, D.C.
Brad had an epiphany as we were going to the track. I'm like, yeah, that was my second favorite team growing up. We moved to D.C. He's like Washington, D.C.? I'm like, yeah, where the Commodores are from. Is that their name? It's such a dumb name.
Commandos.
No, Commandos when you're not wearing your underwear.
Commandos or something with G.I. Joes.
Commandos would have been better, I think, than
Commanders?
Commanders? Is that it? It is so stupid. Let's just call it
Washington. Let's just call it Washington.
The Washington C word.
The Washington State.
Yeah, let's just call them that. Let's just stick with that.
Let's just move them. Let's move them out of D.C. and put them in Washington State.
Speaking of surprises, I had to go to the bathroom after drinking some water because it was kind of chilly. And I walked down. We were in the upper deck, so I go down to the mezzanine to go to the bathroom.
Are you going to tell the story of the dude walking out with his Peter hanging out?
Yeah, he was obviously drunk, had a Bud Light in one hand. He left the bathroom, walked across the mezzanine to the little bridge that took you to the upper deck. And I'm walking on that bridge going towards the bathroom, and I'm like, is that his pecker? And he's fishing around with his zipper, trying not to spill his beer, getting his pecker back in his pants. So that means he stepped away from the urinal with his pecker in his hand and just started headed to the track.
He won't miss anything. I mean, you're lucky he left his seat to go pee.
I didn't know there was anyone around me. I just said out loud so he could hear me because he looked like he needed help. I said, I ain't going to help you. And then some dude behind me says, I ain't helping you either. I don't know if he got it back up. You would have seen him.
I didn't.
as he walked up to his seat with his pecker hanging out.
I didn't notice any pecker hanging out. So you had a big day yesterday. I mean, I
saw old lady show her boobs for beads, which I couldn't unsee. I wanted to.
Oh, we had this lady
I wanted to unsee the pecker.
We had this lady in the concession stand line lift up her right boob, pull out a wallet the size of an iPhone, drop the boob back down, and it made a smacking noise. And then she, I looked at my son, and luckily he was looking the other direction because I felt real bad for him because that was right in his ear.
You don't want to turn them off from women.
Yeah, that was rough. I just don't know how you don't. I mean, one, why are you wearing a bikini? Two,
it was kind of cold. I put on a sweatshirt.
That's what I was saying. Like, why are you wearing the people? There was multiple people in bikinis.
There were some shirtless dudes wandering around. Maybe they were because they were drinking. Yeah,
we saw plenty of people being carried out yesterday.
Yeah,
plenty. We saw a lot of people holding the fence up.
I think they were driving too.
Yeah, we saw plenty of people get in the car and drive.
But on a plus side, we both said as we were driving in, this is the tamest we've ever seen it. You could bring a family now and not be from the woods.
I don't know. We didn't camp, so we don't really know.
But usually when you drive past the campgrounds, they're still going crazy before the race.
Well, we did. Yeah, we did drive past them.
Yeah, I didn't.
Maybe.
Actually, it wasn't very full.
No, there was less campers than usual, for sure. They were all on the other side of the road, though. That's what it was, because there wasn't a lot of spillover into the right side by the highway. That's where it gets crazy, highway side.
Yeah.
There's no hookups.
That used to be free.
It still is.
Oh, well, that's probably why.
That's why it gets crazy.
That's where you saw there were no trailers or RVs built before 1982.
Yes, that was the one we pointed out. That's the free part.
And people living in a U-Haul.
Numerous people in a U-Haul.
Uh-huh.
So, all right. AJ Allmendinger wins the Xfinity race. I did not realize that apparently AJ's been leading here 3 other times, and this is the first time he's able to close the deal and win it. On that note, AJ has also announced that he will drive. Well, actually, AJ hasn't announced this, but Jordan Bianchi announced that AJ is going to drive full-time in the 16, and they're going to announce it. So it's
kind of for real?
They're going to announce. Colleague is announcing it on Wednesday.
Like the whole year's gone? We've known everything a month in advance, and when they announce it, we're like, okay, so what? We know.
Honestly, if I was colleague, I wouldn't even announce it now. I'd be like, all right, Jordan's done it, move on.
Just send it to Jordan.
Yeah.
Or let Bob break it.
I like Jordan breaking it better than Bob. It looks like something Jordan
Bob's everywhere in our sport.
Yeah, but Bob's not a rule breaker or a news breaker.
But doesn't he work for NASCAR?
Yeah.
Well, he can't break no rules.
Well,
he can't even Kevin Harvick it.
I don't know. It's just not Bob's personality. I feel like Bob's the kind of guy, like if you tell Bob, hey, Bob, we're going to sign. If Matt Colleague and Chris Rice says, hey, Bob, we're signing AJ to drive full-time in the 16 next year in a cup car, Bob goes, oh, cool. And that's it. Bob doesn't grab his phone and go, just talk to Chris Rice. AJ Allmendinger's full-time next year. Jordan Bianchi, on the other hand.
So you think you could say, look, this is confidentiality here?
I don't even think you have to say it. I think Bob just respects that. I just don't think it's Bob's personality. I mean, before Bob was on TV, back in the day when Bob was the guy we all followed on Twitter and read his articles, before Fox hired him, that was how Bob was then. Fox hired him, and he's just different. He's not Adam Stern. You know, he's not breaking every news story because he's heard it from a tire changer on another team.
He's kind of a NASCAR geek.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's the guru.
I'm not being derogatory.
No, I mean, that's
what he is.
He's the NASCAR guru.
Yeah.
He knows all.
Those statisticians that know everybody's batting average in baseball.
He's got the
ERA.
He's got statisticals like nobody's business.
Big statisticals.
Huge.
Just hanging out there like the guy coming back from the toilet.
He's probably OG statistical.
Yeah.
You should ask that guy's name, because it might have been Daryl.
He might have peed on my leg.
He might have been a Daryl, though.
There was a Daryl there.
Was there?
Yeah.
Well, he worked for the track.
Couple Daryls.
Oh, yeah, there was a couple Daryls. There was a lot of Karens.
Did you see that Daryl with his checkerboard shirt?
I thought that was a sports coat cut off into a T-shirt.
He wasn't wearing nothing under it.
No,
He wasn't walking very good either.
he had pants on. Nothing under his
Did you
jacket.
see his wife had checkered
Yeah, she looked mad.
flag pants that matched his jacket?
She looked mad.
Do you think she gave him the jacket and said, "Look,
put this
put
on.
this on"? You
Had to cut the sleeves off so it would fit.
You look like a pumpkin. I could.
He was hammered.
She probably could have pulled out some lipstick and under his belly button drawn a mouth, and he, with his breasties and his belly button, it would have been the Pumpkin Man.
He was orange.
Jack-o'-lantern.
He was hammered though.
Oh, he was hammered.
There was some guys walking down when we were walking out. I didn't think we were gonna make it. He did the hesitation over the next step. Each step was a hesitation.
Did you see those two guys carrying the guy out because he wasn't going to walk?
His feet didn't work.
No.
It's like feet don't work.
They were dragging his feet.
How many beers does it take to get to feet don't work?
I haven't been to that level of intoxication since college.
I haven't been there with beer.
I don't even know what I was doing.
I mean, liquor maybe, yeah.
It could have been liquor.
But you don't know. So, yeah, you shut down.
Well, we got to a point with beer bongs, we were pouring vodka in it.
Yeah.
Stupid stuff.
Jack Daniels in a beer pong.
Uh-huh.
Been there, done that.
Uh-huh.
Make you throw up.
Or go to the hospital for alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Been there.
All right. Your boy, Matty DB, won the truck race.
Wow. Hold the bid-do.
I don't know how I feel about it. I think Brett Holmes should have won it. I think it would have been a better story. But nobody's ever heard of Brett Holmes, so they can't let him win.
Who crossed finish line first? I've watched it.
Brett Holmes.
Well, why did he win?
Because the caution was already out. That's what I don't get. Why did NASCAR throw the caution 10 feet before the flipping checkered flag? Nobody was going to get... Throwing that caution didn't stop them from racing.
No, it didn't.
Throwing that caution wasn't going to save anybody's life. Finish the race. I think NASCAR threw the caution because Brett Holmes was leading. Are going to win that race because he had the momentum. When they threw the caution, Matt DiBenedetto was below the apron, dang near sideways, and they threw the caution. Brett Holmes crossed the finish line first. It's the only racing series in the world you cross the finish line first and you don't win. That caution never should have been thrown out.
When they throw the caution.
It should have never been thrown out, though. Not that close to the finish line.
Did anyone ever look to see if that was his first race he's ever won ever? The DeBetto?
I know he never won a cup race. I don't care for the guy. Obviously. He's not my favorite.
He's not my favorite either, but you would have thought Donald Trump would have sponsored him.
You would have.
I don't think Donald Trump spends his money. He makes other people pay for his bills.
You'd think like those people outside the track selling the Trump flags, maybe they would sponsor him.
They got to be making tons of money off that merch.
You know they are. They're buying those Chinese flags
for $1.10,
and then they're selling them for $40.
Yeah,
easily. And they're doing those hand printed shirts. We could print them we could do iron-ons, make them out here in the studio. We could do Trump 2024.
You think Trump would sue us for royalties, though?
No, he can't. He doesn't own his name. Trump, does he? You can't own a name. That's like
you can own your name.
It's like Teresa, though.
Well, she tried to take it away from the children of Dale Sr.
I'm not copying his name. I'm copying the lady selling the flag on the corner.
What if we just put an F at the end? TRUMPF.
Trump.
2024.
I just put 2028.
Is he gonna be like 110 by then?
Yeah, that would make our product different.
He's old.
Hey, did you see that wreck, Jordan Anderson?
Oh yeah, he
spontaneously
fireman.
He Kevin Harvicked it.
Firestorm. Kevin Harvick had nothing on him.
Said he had 2nd-degree burns to his knees, his hands, his neck, his face. I listened to Larry Mack because Larry McReynolds' daughter is married to him, to Jordan Anderson.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I was listening to Larry Mack on.
I didn't even know he had a daughter, to be honest. Yeah. I know he has a son who's a spotter.
Yeah, and he has a daughter. She's married to Jordan Anderson. So he was,
AKA Firestorm.
Yeah. Jordan said it was so bad in the car, all he knew is he wanted out. He didn't care if the car was rolling across the track. He wanted out of the car. He was on fire. Something failed in his fire suit, I guess. I mean, I know it's a fire resistant. It's not fireproof. It's fire resistant. I get that. But we've seen these cars go up in flames a lot this year. I've never known anybody to get burnt like this. But what scared me was him hanging out the window when he hit the wall.
Yeah.
Because that was inches from being
Dead. Just dead.
Yeah. There's no coming back from that.
No. That's a popping a grape.
All right. Jordan's going to be all right. Second degree burns do heal. He'll be back in the car before we know it, or the truck. So, fan favorite, Chase Elliott.
Hold it. I learned something.
Chase is the fan favorite?
Talladega.
What'd you learn?
Marijuana's legal there.
Is it?
Well, there's a lot of people smoking it, and the cops didn't bum rush them and start smacking them around like
like what?
Like a criminal.
I didn't even notice it. Maybe that's my fault.
You didn't smell it?
I mean, a few times, but I just didn't notice it. Like, whatever.
It must be legal there.
No, that's Alabama, man.
Some of those state troopers look like they wanted to pound somebody.
Yeah, I think they just liked you.
Did you notice the state troopers were either real skinny or real overweight?
Oh,
there was no like, oh, there's an average sized guy. Short, skinny, or tall and overweight.
Does that make you feel safe?
No.
Like, did you see the video of the LA cops trying to arrest the homeless dude and he whooped the crap out of both of them? And both of them were, like you said, they were overweight dudes. So I think we just need the cops and the track worker, the safety response workers on the track need to be in shape.
Well, maybe they should give them the benefit of a membership in a gym.
Yeah, but you can't expect an overweight dude to run out on the track.
All the ambulance dudes that are 300, 400 pounds.
Yeah, would you feel safe as a driver knowing some dude who may or may not stroke out on the way to the car to get you?
Well, like when Harvick caught fire, was it Darlington?
The dude, they have to stop halfway and take a breath. Like, whoo.
Well, he also said, hey, reach in there and get my donuts. I forgot my donuts. And they brought that to him inside of a fire extinguisher.
You got any s'mores? Hey, did you notice the mood at the track yesterday was kind of off?
Yeah, but the race was kind of off. Usually you got with each stage, you got this momentum. It's like the Jaws song. Dun, dun.
You felt that. Dun. You felt that at the end.
You usually feel it each stage.
Yeah, you didn't this time. But, like I said, it goes back to what we were saying, though, when we started this show, is the drivers raced smart. They still raced. They still showed up.
What was there, 55 lead changes? Something like that.
I think that's misleading, though.
Yeah, because you got one getting pushed ahead, then the next one getting pushed ahead.
It's 55. There's 57 lead changes between 16 different drivers. Heck, we got the stats right here. I think it was 16 different drivers. Yeah. So it's not. We had 57 lead changes, but only 16 drivers, which is actually pretty good. But for a super speedway race, the record was 88 lead changes. So what I'm saying is saying 57 lead changes is misleading, because yesterday was a race of two lines playing follow the leader all day until somebody got a run and was able to make a pass, which was very far between.
And, always seems to be guy leading with 5 to go is not the guy that wins.
Well, like I said, it goes back to this car. The car has changed the way we race on every type of track. Short tracks, not that interesting anymore. Super speedways. Yesterday was, take it or leave it. Atlanta was great with this car. I mean, that I hate to say it, but Atlanta's my favorite super speedway of the whole year so far.
Did you see? First of all, let's go with what Denny was going. During the Xfinity race, they interviewed him in the media center, and he said they ought to just start over with the car. But then post-race yesterday, I didn't see it till I watched the replay of the race. Watermelon Man made it a point to say, Denny and Kyle don't speak for all of us.
I heard that. I think they still speak for the majority. I think there's a lot of politics going on in the back room.
Isn't that what his boss was saying too, though?
Denny,
this new generation car, let's give it time. Isn't that the company line?
Yes. I think Denny came out and said exactly what he thought and felt on Saturday. Denny said,
well, he's got no block.
This car needs a redesign. NASCAR's focusing on the rear end. They need to focus on the rear, the middle, and the front. They could still call it the next gen car if they want, but they need to redesign the whole car. And then they said something about leadership, and he says, yeah, leadership needs to be changed from top. Start at the top, work your way down. And they said, where do you want to start at? Denny says, at the top, very top.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday morning, before the race, he met with Steve Phelps.
We saw Steve Phelps as we were leaving. I didn't see Denny with him.
Well, we saw him after the race. Denny met with him before.
Oh, he wouldn't meet with us.
Well, then Denny said that.
Did you notice Steve Phelps kind of ignored us? Like we weren't even there.
Almost like he didn't care.
Yeah.
It was almost like we didn't speak to him.
Nah, we basically looked at each other. Isn't that Steve Phelps?
Yeah. And then he was gone.
Yeah, that's him.
It was that fast. Well, we saw the spotters coming down, so we kind of walked in that direction, hoping to run into Brett and Freddie, but we didn't. So we saw Tyler Mon and Eddie DeHunt about run us over trying to get to victory lane. So.
I thought they were just trying to get home.
That's what everybody else was. Eddie DeHunt was trying to get to victory lane. But no.
Wouldn't have been quicker to go through the stands.
You would think. Denny, he might have still been going because we had already walked past the crossover. So he might have been walking down the crossover still.
That could be.
But Denny, after he met with Steve Phelps, made more comments about it, saying that he wasn't talking about Steve Phelps. Steve is the leader that NASCAR currently needs.
You think?
I see your eyes. Like,
I'm not so sure, but anyway.
I think they got to him.
I think the Francis are still in control, dude.
I think Steve Phelps said, hey.
Well, Joe Gibbs got a hold of him after Texas and told him to shut his pie hole.
Well, that didn't work because he walked out at Talladega and said,
open his pie hole again.
We need new leadership. And then Steve Phelps is all of a sudden in town going, hey, Denny, we need to talk, man.
I think Denny is.
That's my job. You're saying needs to be replaced, Denny.
I think Denny, what he's saying, he's got two hats.
He said he didn't want to bother Steve Phelps with minor issues like safety.
I think old Joe, when he told him to shut your freaking pie hole, I think Joe went DC on him because that's where the Commodores. That was a band, wasn't it? Doo-wop band, the Commodores.
I don't even know if we're talking about the right team.
The Commando. Let's just go Redskins. The old Redskins.
I say we call them the Commandos.
That sounds like naked dudes that want to molest people. I'm going full commando here at the Sunday school.
No.
Law of averages. But he said, shut your freaking pie hole.
It seemed to have worked for what?
For
5 days?
For after the race.
Yeah. And then he came out at at Talladega.
Well, I think he switched hats after he said, okay, I work for Joe right now.
Yeah.
So
Racer Denny ain't saying crap.
He came back and he was all nice. And then later, when he's at Talladega, he's like, I'm freaking car owner, team owner, Denny.
Yeah.
Screw you, Joe.
He was not race car owner Denny. He was team owner Denny.
I'll fire Kurt Busch if I want to drive. Biatch.
I don't think that.
You don't think he said that to Joe?
I just think it's odd that he said what he said Saturday and then come out and said he wasn't referring to Steve Phelps. What leadership are you talking about then?
He said start at the top, work your way down.
Yeah, I mean
that's everybody.
That's as clear as mud, right?
That's what I've been saying the whole season.
But here's the thing. It's not just Denny talking crap. You got Truex is saying things. You
Harvick.
Got Happy's Crappies Parts. So you got Alex Bowman out with a concussion. You got Kurt Busch out with concussions. You got Chase Elliott in victory lane. This is what kills me. Chase Elliott wins the race, goes to victory lane, and brings up safety in victory lane. So obviously it is a big deal. Chase Elliott said that they brought up these concerns to NASCAR over the offseason during testing last year. They've waited all season for NASCAR to make changes. They've done nothing, so now they're speaking out.
But they're going to take it to, as we heard yesterday driving home from the race, some
Ohio
crash garage.
Yep, in Ohio, and test it this week. A new rear end. Now that's been in the works for a while, from what I understand. Now that a while could mean 2 months. It could probably mean 3 weeks.
But NASCAR silence is the worst they can do. The worst response is to say nothing.
But what? So I was telling a buddy of ours, Zach. Me and him have been talking about this. He's not of NASCAR. He doesn't watch NASCAR, at least. And we're kind of going back and forth about the safety issues. And, he compared it to the NFL right now. You look at...
is that David, your dad, calling again?
Oh, there he is.
Oh.
But you got...
We don't have a mic for him today.
You got the NFL and Tua getting hurt.
Yeah, did you see his fingers go all...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, you got the NFL... The coaches are making, and the owners are making all this money. And then you got NASCAR, the owners, not really the owners, but
Denny,
leadership making all this money.
When he said start firing from the top and work your way down, like a few sentences later, he said, they say it's all about safety, but it's really about money. They don't give any teams any money. Exactly. And I'm paraphrasing.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm not exactly what he said, but... That's what he said. They don't want to give us any money. F1 gives money, shares the revenues. So,
yeah,
when are they going to share?
That's why you have these teams willing to spend what they spend in F1. The teams right now are willing to spend whatever NASCAR would let them spend to fix these cars. But
I think Corey LaJoie's concussed.
That was a Goodyear tire failure.
I think he bashed his head. Did you see that he changed the name of his podcast to Three Pennies?
Did he?
3 pennies equals a nickel.
I thought it was stacking.
Instead of stacking.
Stacking quarters. What's less than a penny? An inch?
Quarter penny?
Stacking inches?
Well, in England, they have a pence. Is that a penny or is that a portion of a penny?
I have no idea. You want me to do conversions from pences to pennies? To dollars?
Well, here's something. Do you think there's any gold in those mountains around Talladega?
No, I don't.
But Dahlonega, Georgia, North Georgia had a gold rush. It was just before.
Talladega had a small gold rush, but it was farther west towards the Heflin area, just north of Heflin, up around where I was telling you Muscadine, all that is. So they had a gold rush back then, actually, before the Dahlonega, North Georgia gold rush. It wasn't a big one. It was like, one guy found gold and told a couple buddies, and they rushed over and found gold too. So me and John, my son, when he was younger and I first started working in Alabama, I had a customer that lived over in that area, and he had an uncle who had found gold in the creek out behind their house. So me and John would go over just to...
Did you pan?
Yeah. We go over and pan for gold. No. Never found anything. But it was fun.
I went down this gold rush rabbit hole. Like Saturday night?
Yeah.
After I had some whiskey. Did you know the first gold rush in America was in Charlotte,
North Carolina?
And that's where the next race is.
No, I didn't know that. Well, I knew it was the next race.
Then
gold rush.
They got all these people to immigrate. That's not a word, is it?
I think immigrate is a word.
Immigrate? Well, I'm going to stick with it. They immigrated
south
to Charlotte from the coal mines in England, because it was 1799 when they had the gold rush. Then they immigrated. I don't think that's really a word.
Just roll
to Dahlonega. Then
transferred, maybe.
Then Traveled? The gold rush hit in California. Now those first miners were too old, but it was people that learned under their tutelage. Remember, I learned under
tutelage.
I remember I had a manager once. I was under his tutelage.
The Jordan Bianchi word of the week this week was titillate. Titillate. Well, your word of the week is tutelage.
Well, now that you've brought up titillate,
can you use titillate and tutelage in one sentence?
Well, that reminds me of T-shirts I saw at Talladega.
Titillated tutelage?
No, there's a guy. I don't know if you saw him. I tried to point him out to you without making it obvious that I'm pointing. He said on his shirt, it says, "I love big boobs and stock cars." And look, man, you just gave me an invite to look at your wife. And I did. She ain't got the boobs that he likes.
I saw the one T-shirt that said Titty Patrol.
And he had a wedding band and a girl with him that had a wedding band on. Would your wife let you wear titty patrol? That's kind of like old 80s FBI, female body inspector. My wife would beat my ass.
I had a Titties and Beer t-shirt from a Rodney Carrington stand-up tour that he did back when I was like 22, 23. I mean, I was married.
Did she let you wear it outside of the house?
I wore it at the racetrack, but she never went, so it was just my racing t-shirt.
I don't think I could wear I'm a titty inspector with my wife at the race. I don't think
she wasn't at the race.
I'm just saying if my wife was with me because she's never been to a race.
I was like 22, so, you know.
Doesn't that seem like a 15 to 25 mistake there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, now looking back on it, I wouldn't have worn it. Now I wouldn't wear it. But I bought the shirt at a Rodney Carrington show, stand-up comedy tour he did, and it just said Titties and Beer tour, and it had...
I used to have a Heineken t-shirt that said grab a Heine, but it never helped me grab a Heine.
Oh, mine didn't get me any titties or beer. So.
Yeah. It never worked, but I was like 16 or 17 when I got the grab a Heine t-shirt. I don't know. Makes no sense.
What did you think about the track, Talladega? I know you haven't been in, what did you say, 7 years?
2015. Well, they got rid of the urinals that were the half bathtubs on the wall. The troughs are gone.
Yes. I was completely shocked when I walked in. The troughs would have been better than those nasty urinals, though, man. Why did they not put mirrors in the bathroom either? Not that I needed a mirror, but I felt like I was at prison.
They were out of soap.
I didn't look.
I
didn't even go in the bathroom. I went in the bathroom one time.
I hand sanited. I was drinking water.
I used your hand sanitizer, so.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I used, but wasn't drinking beer, had lots of water.
When I went to the bathroom, me and John went in there when we went down to get boiled peanuts. There was dudes peeing in the sink. So I wasn't going to go wash my hands while they were peeing in the sink.
That's gross.
Well, maybe that's why they don't put mirrors in front of the sink.
Maybe that's why the guy was playing with his wiener out there on the bridge going to
probably the same guy.
Yeah.
Guarantee it was the same guy.
Probably peed in the sink.
Probably. You're lucky he didn't pee in the stands. No, I got a lot of problems. So this track's owned by NASCAR, right? I've been to Daytona International Speedway.
Well, that's the Taj Mahal.
Okay, why can't we at least upgrade this one to be a quarter as nice as Daytona? I mean, you can't walk
in 1967.
Everything's block. Everything's made out of concrete buildings, concrete walkway, concrete everything. Everything's the same gray concrete color.
The concession stands are right under the stands, and if you get more than 50 people in line, you've just blocked everybody going to their seats.
And you didn't they didn't have everyone open, so you had
didn't make sense.
No, you had 100,000 people there and 7 concession stands open for 100,000 people.
And up in the mezzanine, all they did was sell beer.
Yeah. We went down.
I didn't want any beer.
I went down at the guy in front of us and me went down at the same time during stage 2 to get hot dogs. Me and John went and got peanuts because we weren't going to wait 300 people deep in line to get a hot dog. And they got rid of the Talladega dogs. All they had was a little 3-inch weenie on a 6-inch bun. I'm not paying $18 for that. So we went and got boiled peanuts, come back to the stands. The dude in front of me didn't come back.
My wife told me that was my problem.
The guy in front of us didn't come back till halfway through stage 3. He missed all of stage 2 waiting in line for a hot dog.
Well, luckily, I found a bag of M&Ms in my backpack from North Wilkesboro, and they weren't...
That you bought North Wilkesboro?
Yeah, that's where that weird lady was.
Oh, yeah. Horsehead.
They weren't melted too bad. They weren't the freshest M&Ms, but they might have been old at North Wilkesboro since they had no foot traffic in the store.
Luckily, we had some trail mix, so that helped. I mean, you brought water, so I mean, like I said, we went and got boiled peanuts and got a couple sodas. We was good to go.
It was a good race, though.
Yeah, we had a great time there.
Yeah,
like I said, I think the atmosphere felt off. Even listening on MRN and the scanners, it just felt off.
No, it didn't seem the same.
But I think it was all the safety concern talk. That's all we've talked about, and here we're coming to probably one of the more dangerous races of the year, Talladega. So I just think that it killed the vibe. You know, I wish the drivers were talking about something other than safety too, because it's killing the mojo. You can't go into a race weekend all jacked up on Mountain Dew and get all excited when you're worried about your favorite driver being out next week. Like, I want Chase Elliott to win the championship.
I wanted Kurt to win.
I don't want Chase to get in a little fender bender at the Roval and back into the wall very lightly like Alex Bowman did and have to miss a race and not end up making the Final Four because of a concussion. So that kills the vibe. That's what I'm getting at. It's hard to go in all jacked up when you're worried about that.
And I throw that in the lap of NASCAR for being silent.
Yeah.
Just totally silent.
I just wish they would have handled it behind closed doors. The whole situation, the drivers being mad because now they've spilled over into the media. They do that to get support for the fans, and that pushes NASCAR to lean more towards the driver's way, which I don't know that that's a bad thing. I mean, I'd use every tool you need to use, right?
Yeah.
But then you got like Jeff Burton. So I heard on the radio this morning, Jeff Burton had a meeting with all the drivers on Friday, and Jeff's apparently the lead of the driver council.
He's not a driver, though. He was.
I don't think Jeff goes in there and tells all the drivers that they need to use the proper channels when they have complaints and not just run out into the media and be all open mouthed about it, right?
Don't you think they've tried proper channels? I mean, they've claimed that they've tried proper
Do you think Jeff, as a media member, deserves a seat at the driver's table?
No.
What's Jeff's best interest right now?
Keeping his job,
The media.
making $5 million a year,
Yeah.
calling the race.
I think Jeff, not that he doesn't care about the drivers, but
Well, he does. His son's one of them.
yeah, but he's looking out for the integrity of NASCAR too. The drivers have to go through the channels they're going through right now in order to get their point across.
Isn't that what we call a conflict of interest?
Exactly.
So Jeff's got a conflict of interest.
All right, we are going to the Roval next weekend.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
I got something to talk about. If you lived in Pennsylvania,
yeah,
would you vote for Stroke Man or Dr. Wackadoodle?
how would you like to be Dr. Oz? Wouldn't you feel really bad? Like you're losing in the polls currently to a guy who had a stroke and who can't really speak in clear sentences. Like,
But Dr. Oz seems really weird too, dude.
didn't he have a show on TV?
Yeah, but I never saw it because we had to work.
Yeah.
We got to put food in our family's mouths.
Yeah, we missed that. Oprah,
Must
Dr.
have been like
Phil.
an 11 a.m. show or
I
something.
think it was like a Dr. Phil
Fill in?
cooking
Skinny
for
Dr.
Rachel
Phil?
Ray or something.
Skinny Dr. Phil?
I think it happened. No, I'm saying I think it happened during that time block.
Oh.
Like before soap opera
Is
started.
he no longer on TV?
No idea. Zero ideas.
Don't you think we could come up with a sitcom? We ought to pitch it to one of the networks.
The networks aren't going to do anything that makes fun of.
Dr. Oz and Dr. Doolittle. To be the two of them hanging out at the beach.
What's his last name? Fetterman?
Is that it?
Oz and Fett.
And, you know, his parents give him
Maybe that's their.
He's my age and his parents still give him an allowance.
Maybe that's their gimmick. Maybe they're trying to pull off a TV spinoff.
Well, Dr. Oz is a TV
exactly.
person. I don't think I'd ever want to use him as a doctor.
No.
He's too skinny.
There's a lot of. Is he like a doctor, or is he like a.
What do they call it when you look real skinny and unhealthy? Emancipated? No, sorry. Whoa, not there. Emaciated. Emaciated. That's it.
Malnourished.
Emaciated, not emancipated.
Malnourished.
Hey, he looks malnourished.
We're watching.
Don't he need some candy or something?
We're watching Naked and Afraid right now, and those guys are at the end of a 60-day challenge. They look malnourished. Malnourished. We
not
are
emancipated.
We are very bad. What was the word the other day? Murphydite? Murphydite?
Yeah, man with a.
We were trying to think.
We can't even pick a gender because they have both.
Yeah, we were trying to think of what that word was, and I was the closest with Murphydite. What is the real hermaphrodite? Hermaphrodite. Well, I had the dite part right. The hermaphrodite. I don't know.
When you went down the rabbit hole, did you discover whether they can impregnate themselves?
Like a frog?
Yeah.
What do you call it? Like on Jurassic Park, they used frog DNA with the raptors And that's why the
that's
Raptors
true.
were able to change sex to impregnate themselves.
Let's say you're in college, right?
Did you see that video of that dude at Congress or wherever? And they're like, so can men get pregnant? And he says, yes, men can get pregnant.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know they could.
I didn't either. He's especially transgender men.
But like me, I identify as a woman who identifies as a man, so I still appear as I always have appeared as a man.
I'm not going down this rabbit hole. It's a long rabbit hole.
That's what I choose.
This is another episode.
Well, here we go. You're in college, right? Not you. Let's say a friend of ours who went to Georgia Southern because they're a big party school.
Okay.
We won't say his name.
I know a lot of people that went to Georgia Southern.
We worked with him at another company.
I know a lot of people that went to Georgia Southern we worked with at another company.
That's true. He's married now and just had a child.
Okay, you've narrowed it down to 2.
All right. Well, let's just stick with 2. So you still had to flip the coin. So you're in college, right?
Uh-huh.
And you're dropping some Molly, dancing at the club. That doesn't even sound like dance club music, does it?
No.
Okay. But anyway, you're both in the mood, right? You go back to your dorm room.
Both of our fellow coworkers?
Yeah, let's say it's him.
Okay.
So he's with a girl.
Okay.
He thinks it's a girl.
Okay.
It's a hermaphrodite.
Okay.
He doesn't realize till the morning
The Murphidites?
that he's slept with a hermaphrodite.
Yeah, but that's still woman, man.
But isn't he bisexual now?
No, it's a what?
Yeah, don't you think? Both sexes. He just had intimate intercourse with both sexes.
I don't know.
He didn't notice because he was on Molly the night before.
I'm gonna plead the TJ Majors here and go with I don't know.
I think you are.
I don't know.
Or can you pick what sex you were with?
Maybe that's it.
So you get a free choice. You get done. You're like, all right. I was with a woman.
I guess it would depend on, in that instance, because a hermaphrodite is.
I'm just gonna go with hermaphrodite.
Murphy-dite. That's what
Okay.
that was where we started at. That's just because we're bad with words. All right. Oh, here's another one. Have you looked at Icelandic words?
I love Iceland. It's my favorite place in the
Have you ever
world.
looked at their words, though?
No, they got like weird little circles on top of letters and stuff.
No, they're like extremely long.
Oh, yeah.
Check this out. I'm going to show you a picture of this word. If Joey Logano wins another race this season,
I'm going to pronounce it correctly.
I'm going to try to pronounce it. I made a bet with my buddy Zach.
Can we make a video and put it on YouTube? You trying to say the word? Oh, my goodness.
Do you?
Valhino Magraninov Erk Fur Ag Molluscoriski Clap Perfin Girim.
Yeah, he just tried to pronounce it. It's easily 50 letters long, right? It's the longest word in Icelandic. There's no way I mean, I'm going to have to listen to it. Obviously, I don't have to say it until Joey wins.
If you were born in Iceland, wouldn't you just say, I think English might be an easier language? I'm going to learn that instead.
I can't even speak English properly. There? We don't even speak English properly.
English is a tough language, dude.
Have you ever tried to learn? Do you know a second language?
No.
Me neither. My Spanish teacher in high school.
I want to learn Spanish.
My Spanish teacher in high school, she told me after like a week or two that if I promised never to learn the Spanish language, she would make sure I passed. I made an A in Spanish 1 and a B in Spanish 2. I was guaranteed to pass because I was that bad. Oh. I could not pronounce anything. Oh. I mean, you know, this Southern accent I have can't roll
Southern
R's.
Accent?
Is it?
I don't know.
I'm from South Brooklyn. Can't you tell?
I'm from
the Bronx.
I'm from South Georgia, legitimately. No, they say I don't sound like I'm from there.
You don't.
Where do I sound like I'm from?
Nowhere.
Baltimore?
No, it's a mix of. You got a mix of like South Maryland and South Georgia.
I think that's why I can't pronounce anything.
Probably.
My family should have stayed in one place.
But if you could be like me and be dyslexic with a full mix of Southern.
It's my father's fault for.
Well, my father's fault too.
Working for the government.
You've talked to my dad. He sounds just like me.
He does,
I
actually.
sound just like him. I go into his office at work, and people will hear me in his office talking on the phone or just to him, or if he's not in there, they'll think I'm my dad.
Have you noticed, though, if you're not from here, you have no accent in the Atlanta area? It's like zero accent.
That's just because our southern accents are so strong.
You would think they would adopt some of our accent.
Maybe.
Is our accent dying out?
No.
You don't think so? It's not portrayed on TV very well.
Yes, that's just because it's not the most sophisticated sounding accent. I mean,
who do we have? Who do we have from the South that's on TV? You got.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't
anybody.
watch TV.
You got.
I watch Naked and
that
Afraid.
Reese lady. What's that Reese lady?
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Roberta Roberts. She was in that hooker show where she wasn't a hooker and fell in love with that. She was a hooker, fell in love with that other dude.
She was on,
and then he
was
mad
in Sweet Home Alabama
because she was rich. Oh no, she wasn't rich. The dude was rich, and he didn't want to marry a hooker, but they got married in the end.
Julia Roberts?
Oh, I said what? Roberta Roberts? That's her. Julia Roberts.
I thought we were talking about Reese Witherspoon.
Are they one and the same?
That's two different people.
Oh, I thought one was the real name and one was a stage name.
No. One's younger and one's older. Reese Witherspoon was.
Well, who the hell's Jennifer Aniston then?
From Friends. What the hell's Kyle Petty got to do with it?
What the hell? I thought Jennifer Aniston was from Georgia.
Jennifer Aniston was from Friends.
Yeah, wasn't she from Georgia from Friends?
Friends was filmed in New York.
Are you sure? Or was it filmed in
Seattle? Seattle and Washington.
San Diego?
It's Seattle and Washington,
Do
D.C.
they film crap in Hollywood? Or is that just where they all live? I went to a studio there.
In Hollywood?
I think it was in Los Angeles, not really Hollywood.
I've been to Los Angeles.
You've been to Paramount?
I wasn't very impressed.
You know, the weather's awesome. We weren't there when it was 110 last week.
There's a lot of
Or was
homeless.
that yesterday? Yeah, there's homeless people everywhere.
It's worse now, apparently. I've seen some videos online. It's pretty crazy now. But back then, they were everywhere.
I'm thinking, we were there just a few years ago, and there was just
I mean, we did the tour, like the
RVs around parks.
Yeah.
And
we
then
did
just
that
tents.
celebrity house tour or whatever. We
Did you
ride
see
on the
any
double-decker bus.
Celebrity homeless people?
No.
Are there any?
For me, it was just, I wanted to go to Sunset Strip. I wanted to
Do
see
they
the
strip
Sunset
there?
Strip.
Is that like a shoe
No,
show?
it's from the 80s, man.
They're not naked?
Remember Motley Crue always talking about Sunset Strip, and I loved 80s hair metal. So
Oh, there was a movie.
I
Sunset.
wish I could go back in time and go to Sunset Strip and go see Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, all those guys play at like the Whiskey, those places.
Are they still open, the Whiskey?
Yeah.
You know, the Doors played the Whiskey?
Really? A lot of people played the
I
Whiskey.
watched the,
Metallica played the Whiskey.
yeah, Van Halen.
Yeah.
A Quiet Riot.
The Stooges played.
For
the
some reason, I
Stooges.
got on a
New York Dolls. I've been on a Stooges
a
New York Dolls
biography
kick.
binge on Netflix.
Yeah.
I got that Randy Rhoads one.
Yeah. You're
I
telling me
got-
about that.
I didn't know he was in Quiet Riot before he went to Ozzy.
I did know that. I'd forgot.
But they weren't big till like 10 years later. But come on, feel the noise. Girls Rock Your Boys.
Is that Metal Health?
Yeah, that
Hang
was a
Your
great
Head?
album. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked Quiet Riot.
Then they disappeared.
I love that. Like, dude, that was my favorite genre of music is hair metal. Like, because hair metal, it just emphasized the guitar solo so much. Like,
How did you get into that? Your dad must be a few years older than me.
Yeah, he is.
Because
I like two.
I'm grunge.
I don't know.
Hair metal was right before grunge.
My dad
Because it
listened.
went from hair metal to grunge. Van Halen, are they hair metal?
You know what? I do
Or are
know.
they pre-hair metal?
I know how I got into it. My Uncle Scott, he's the one who took me to see Metallica, took me to see Kiss. You know, he took me to all these hair metal concerts, basically. Not Metallica, wasn't hair metal, but Metallica was on the heavier side of what he liked. But his brother Jack, my dad, they would always get together and talk music. Bon Jovi, Jackal, AC/DC, Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses. That's how I got stuck into the hair metal stuff. My introduction was Motley Crue, Guns N' Roses, and then as I grew up, I started to go back and find bands I liked. I was probably the only 16-year-old in 2000 pulling into the high school parking lot in a Camaro blaring "Bang Your Head" out the windows. Or
grunge was dead by then. Everybody was listening to pop music.
Rap. I mean, that hip-hop, rap, that was really, my friend group listened to that.
Britney Spears. What was her name? Britney? Sprinky.
I ain't talk bad about Britney, man. I got her autograph.
I saw it.
I like Britney.
That's why I called her Sprinky.
Then you had the boy bands were big back then. Linkin Park was.
Oh, I love Linkin Park.
Limp Bizkit. Those were the big bands.
I liked.
Those were the big bands, but still.
They kind of kept up rock.
I loved hair metal. I liked playing guitar.
I like hair metal. I don't know if I love it. I had hair metal bands. What was that?
Poison.
That's what I was going to say. Don't need nothing but a good time.
Yeah. I see Poison's great in concert.
And then you got.
But I wouldn't go see Bret Michaels.
She's My Cherry Pie.
Warrant.
I'm surprised we didn't see that T-shirt at Talladega.
I wouldn't go see Bret Michaels in concert by himself, but I'd go see Poison.
Didn't their guitar player die?
Well, Bret Michaels, no. CC?
He didn't die?
I don't think so. If he did, you're going to break my heart here. All right, let's get to the hotels.
All right, someone died, though, in rock and roll.
Somebody always dies in rock and roll.
They're always croaking.
It's the drugs, man. Hard life.
So we got Hometown Studios and Suites. And do you have a feeling whenever they review, they're advertising their company too?
Yeah, I'm thinking they are.
Lion House Fitness.
See, I wouldn't put the name of my company at the beginning of my review because if we're reading the review on here, you've said some pretty nasty crap.
Pretty much.
So now people are going to associate Lion House Fitness with whatever comes next.
Well, here we go. 1 out of 5 on Google. Just 2 months ago. The front desk ladies were extremely nice and helpful, but I wouldn't recommend this place to anyone. It was so bad, we had to get another hotel somewhere else and check out the next day. We drove all the way from Myrtle Beach and thought this place would be nice because the pictures looked nice.
From the dirty Myrtle.
But don't be fooled. We wanted something cheap because we were only staying one night, and they made it seem way better than it was. Got there, and the place smelled like old farts. Food, weed, and some must. Is that the right spelling of must?
Musk.
Yeah, wouldn't it be a K?
Yeah.
All right.
Must.
We were going to the room and saw a giant hole in the ceiling with insulation and smoke detector falling through it right outside of our room.
If nobody jumps out of
Just
the hole,
hoped for the best, and we ignored it. Got in there and had absolutely no power in the room. Sure, storms knocked the breaker or whatever, but the bathroom lights never came back on, even after someone came to check it. Shower consistently leaked and had no hot water at all. Toilet backed up and would not flush at all. And to top it off, when my girlfriend was doing something in the bathroom.
What?
What the hell? What?
No.
A roach came crawling out from between her. That's not there. Across. Crawling across her.
What?
Yeah. No toiletries. That's what the roach was for, dude. That was a toiletry roach.
I'd flip out if a roach crawled across me in the bathroom.
While you're sitting on the pot.
Well, you're doing something.
Well, he didn't say what she was doing. She was doing something.
She could have been doing crack for all we know.
Yeah, or lines of cocaine on the back of the toilet.
Or crack.
Have you noticed on television that's where you do cocaine?
Yeah.
Not being into it that much. Didn't really do it.
Maybe it's mandatory.
See it on TV all the time. They go to the bathroom and snort it on top of the lid of the toilet tank. Why in God's name would you do that?
I mean,
you want to get fecal matter on your nose?
But how do you get fecal matter on the back of the top of the toilet seat? The lid.
Well, that dude I saw with his Johnson hanging out at Talladega pee all over the top of the toilet.
Good point.
And if you're it's always on TV when they're at a club. Those guys are drunk and wasted already.
Yeah, so there's no telling what they're snorting up their nose.
Yeah, I don't get it. Why does TV have to portray it that way?
That's just how
do they do it in a disgusting way? Or do people just go, oh, yeah, that's how. Like, if I've never done cocaine, but if you said, hey, you want to try some cocaine? I'm going to go, well, let's go pull the lid off the tank of the toilet first because it'll clean it up.
Where are you seeing this at? What movies? I always thought cocaine was portrayed with a mirror.
You know what my problem is with
I thought
movies?
they put them on mirrors.
No, they're always, well, they put mirrors on top of the back of the toilet.
Oh, see, I never paid that much attention. I saw the mirror.
That's not where I would
But
go.
why do you use a mirror for your lines of cocaine?
Maybe you want to see inside your nose.
Well, that's why. Does it make it look like you're actually consuming more than you actually are? So it's a mental thing. So you do less cocaine. So it's the dealer trick on the user.
This is what I'm thinking. When you get older, I don't know if you hit that level yet. You got to trim the nostril hairs.
Oh, yeah. I can't grow hair on top of my head. But
I mean, I got this Phillips thing that's like a weed whacker. I just go, whack, and you can hear when it's hitting it. It changes tones. It goes, whack.
You get hair out of your ears too?
Yes.
Like you can
So
braid it.
disgusting. So disgusting. But I'm thinking, while you're snorting the cocaine, maybe you take a look to see if you need to clean your nostril hairs. On the mirror.
Maybe that has
Multitasking.
Maybe. You have a very good point.
I don't know why you do it on the back of the toilet.
Well, you're in the bathroom. It's an easy place to sit the mirror.
So
You can't do the mirror. You can't put the mirror on the counter in the club bathroom because there's so many people coming in and out. Then you got to share with all these people. So you go to the stall, put it on the back of the toilet seat. You can't fit but 3 or 4 people in a bathroom stall.
So
then you don't have to worry about strangers coming in and going, hey, can I get a bump?
We need to get a guest that does cocaine and tell us what's going on with the cocaine. The cocaine.
You know anybody?
No. I wouldn't probably have a full-time job if I was hanging out with those cocainers.
Probably some of our dealers.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
See, the way you said it, some of our dealers, it sounds like we're drug dealers.
Yeah, I have my wife.
We're not.
My wife has a friend who pointed that out. But we call all our contractors dealers. I've always said that.
Dealers.
I've never had anybody correct me and go, what kind of dealers are you going to see?
Do we know anyone that would be a guest on this show that would tell us how to do cocaine?
Oh, I'm sure we can find somebody.
Would they do it in front of us so we know how to do it properly?
No.
Not that I wanted to, but this is educational for those that might.
Well,
anyone out there
the studio's at my house, so I probably wouldn't want those shady characters at my house, so...
We can meet them at a Waffle House. Isn't that where cocaine heads hang out after 3 a.m.?
That's where Noah Gregson hangs out after he wins a race.
Yeah. Do you think he... Huh.
All
right. Well, we didn't finish this, did we? No toiletries, no towels, and they made us wait to check in. Only for us to walk in the room, and it wasn't even clean. We walked on the floor and socks turned brown. Now, we usually hear they turn black. Looked the same. Some months had moths, not months. Looked like some moths had snacked on the curtains because there were holes in them.
Could have burnt.
Could be shotgun.
Could be from all the crack pipes blowing up.
Could be. Well, that's all they said. I just found it interesting. They were Lionhouse Fitness. Anybody want to Google that and go use them?
No.
Go for it. So
we should read their reviews next week.
Well, here's this was a crime that was in a review.
Uh-oh.
So I went and hunted down the crime.
The Econo Lodge.
Christy Plusser, Econo Lodge, Charlotte, which is by Wyndham.
Wyndham.
We
love Wyndham.
They gave it a 1 out of 5.
I love this lady.
They says this place sucks a big hairy ass. I don't get this. Fast they overcharged. I think she meant first. Or did they just overcharge her very quickly?
They fastly charged.
Give me your card. Right through the scanner. They overcharged her.
Super quick.
And when I got my money back after being on the phone all morning, which this goes all over the place, doesn't it? Then she goes pure gangster on us. They's gonna steal you rabbit. They's gonna steal you rabbit. Then they gonna kill your ass dead. They're gonna kill your ass dead. Kills your ass dead. Then they, D-E-Y, made me leave.
What?
I think they made her leave. They leavied her. So I would recommend anyone going here. She said she would recommend them.
All right. So
look, I'm going, okay, they're going to kill your rabbit or whatever they're going to do to your rabbit. So I put in the address to the hotel.
It said, they's gonna steal
you rabbit. Then they gonna kill your ass dead.
They gonna kills your ass dead.
Then they
maybe me Libby.
So I would recommend anyone going here. I would recommend.
This is a perfect example of why you should proofread your reviews before you post them. The sad part is she might have proofread this.
But she was onto something because I put in the address for this Econo Lodge in Google and put in the word rabbit because I was fascinated. And this is a very short review. It's what, 3 sentences? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, look. That's why I put WTF after I pasted this little news blurb from WSOCTV.com. News staff from June 17, 2022 at 10:31 p.m. Look, that's like, I don't think she got the timeline right. She says 2 months ago she was there, but maybe she read about the rabbit. But listen, Charlotte, search warrants show an argument over a pet rabbit may have led to a deadly shooting at the Northwest Charlotte motel. Charlotte Mecklenburg police have arrested and charged 2 people in connection with the crime. Police said the shooting happened around 9 a.m. Saturday at the Econo Lodge Hotel on Glenwood Drive near Interstate 85, which is this Econo Lodge. That day, officers found 2 people had been shot. Both were seriously hurt, and medic rushed them to the hospital. Police said Jaya Shibahahi, wow, that's kind of like, he's Icelandic.
Yeah.
Last name Rava Jibahani.
Yeah.
Patel.
Definitely Icelandic.
55 died at the hospital. So they will steal your rabbit.
They gonna steal your rabbit.
And they gonna kill your ass dead. They gonna kill your ass dead.
They's going to.
There was truth.
D-A-Y. D-E-Y.
So I'm gonna say
So you think the rabbit
100% believe Christy Plusser. 100%.
Do you think Christy was one of the people arrested for shooting? Or was she just staying there and overheard them stealing rabbits?
I don't have a pet rabbit. I've never traveled with a pet rabbit. I've traveled with a dog. No one stole them.
Do you know a pet rabbit?
I do know people with pet rabbits. I know people that have rabbits that eat them.
Only rabbit I can think of is like Bugs Bunny.
Would you steal him and then shoot someone over him?
No.
Do you think it was a living rabbit or just a stuffed plush toy rabbit?
Hey, they's gonna steal your rabbit. I don't think you would shoot somebody over a stuffed rabbit.
But based on the evidence, I think Christy has the most truthful review we've ever read.
Yes, because in one sentence she said, they's gonna steal you rabbit. then they gonna kill your ass dead.
Your ass dead.
So then you read the news article says search warrant shows an argument over a pet rabbit may have led to a deadly shooting. It's the same sentence, just they's gonna steal you rabbit. And an argument over a pet rabbit may have led to a deadly shooting, or they gonna kill your ass.
But we read reviews all the time. We're like, this is no way this can be true, but that's what they wrote in the review. And this backs it up.
Yeah.
Her review.
Yeah, I mean, we've never had
we got evidence that she didn't lie. Christy's truthful. So don't go to the Econo Lodge.
He's going to steal your rabbit.
And he's going to kill your ass dead.
Kills
your ass. So now we're going to go to the Days Inn by Wyndham, Charlotte.
Heck yeah.
Also a Wyndham.
You know how we do it.
Latoya Jimenez Juarez.
I wonder if they're related to Steve.
Might be.
That's Latart, though.
Think he's from the same era? She gives it all 1 out of 5 on Google. People fail to realize that first impressions should be the best impressions.
Yeah.
My only regret is that I was not able to get the young lady's name at the desk when speaking with her on the phone. The young lady was highly disrespectful, and the name she gave us was Jessica Rabbit. That's why I picked this.
They steal y'all rabbits.
Because this is a different Wyndham, but they talking rabbits.
They got a lot of rabbits at the Wyndham.
I implore these owners at these establishments, no matter how desperate you are for workers, please do not hire people that do not care about your establishments because a bad reputation is hard to live down. The young lady who answered your phone on 7/22/2022 at 4 p.m. is not a good look for your business. She is nasty and extremely unprofessional. I refuse to allow my family friends to stay at 1. I now wonder if she's the same person in the comment below. Mine. Do better, sweetheart.
I don't like that. I hate that, actually. Do better. You see that all the time on social media, like, hey, you should do better. Don't say bad things. Do better. That's just stupid. I don't know. I just don't like it. That's just me.
But personally. You know, if you look at the reviews.
What did the comment below say? Did you get that?
Well, this is it. Same place.
Yeah.
Michelle Weiss.
So she thinks Michelle is the one she talked to on the phone?
Yeah.
Okay. What does Michelle have to say?
Well, she says toilet on floor.
Yeah, that's where most of them are.
I'm thinking this might have been laying sideways.
Oh, okay.
Bowl down, bowls out.
Bowls out. You think the lid was on it still?
Maybe.
Maybe they spilled the toilet, taking the lid off to do some cocaine.
Maybe. We need to get a cocaine head. Oh, what's that? We get Mayfield here.
Jeremy.
Yeah, he probably did meth. It's probably the same rules of doing meth that there is for cocaine.
I don't know.
Well, I've watched Breaking Bad.
I did too.
Do you think we can get him some blue dust? Blue ice for him to show us?
I don't remember him using mirrors in Breaking Bad.
They really didn't show drug use that often.
No. But they were making it literally the whole time. That was actually a good show.
It was. But
it got a little weird when during the chicken dude, Polo's Chicken or whatever.
Yeah. Polo Loco?
Yeah, it got a little weird.
That's a real restaurant. I forget what it's called.
It got a little weird during that. It was called Polo Pullers or something.
But didn't that dude scare the crap out of you?
Which one?
That dude that owned the chicken.
Yes.
He scared me.
He was just too calm.
Oh, yeah, he just didn't care.
You know who he reminds me of?
He's going to kill you.
He reminds me of that dude running for Senate in Georgia. If you look at him.
Like, who?
What's his name?
Both Raphael Warnock?
Yeah, they both have that crazy eye look.
Does he own a chicken restaurant?
I hope not. All right.
But he was worried about quality.
They were all worried about quality. That's why they broke into that.
I'm not into chicken. I think if I was out there and they had that restaurant,
that's what I learned about ricin.
I would eat.
I learned about ricin off that show too, where he made the ricin and he was going to poison.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's a really good show. I'm going to have to go back and watch. I didn't watch the spinoff though. What about Saul? Did you watch that?
I did. It's a good show.
Was it?
I got one season left.
See, I didn't watch any of it. Should I go back and watch Breaking Bad over and then watch What About Saul?
My oldest son got into Breaking Bad last summer.
Okay.
So he watched it, and then we watched all the Better Call Sauls on Netflix. I think there's one season they haven't dropped yet on Netflix because it's an AMC show.
I haven't seen any of them, so.
And he finally got old enough.
Does it have anything to do with Breaking Bad?
It's like before Breaking Bad, how he became a lawyer, how he started representing this purge of the earth.
When did he come about in Breaking Bad? Did he show up when they were in Mexico?
He was having problems laundering money, and someone referred him there.
So that
could have been the owner of El Polo Loco.
Was that before or after the car washes?
Before the car washes.
So I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it. My timeline's all messed up with the show.
Because it's like a prequel. Better Call Saul.
I'm gonna go back and watch Breaking Bad, then I'll check out Better Call Saul.
All right, well, let's get back to the toilet on the floor.
Toilet on the floor.
My heater air conditioner did not work, and when they changed my room, it didn't work either. The room or the air conditioner?
Or the heater.
We know how to fix air conditioners.
Or the toilet.
Even a P-TAC. I know how to fix those. She should have called us.
Should have called Saul.
You just send us a DM on Twitter. We'll help you. We'll walk you through it. We can FaceTime. We'll show you where you can buy it on
Amazon
for about 10 times more than it would cost for you just to go ahead and pay a contractor.
Yeah, because then you're going to have to pay a contractor to fix what you've torn up.
And then they're going to not want to use the parts you bought because they don't know where the parts came from.
Yeah. Well, then the warranty's gone, so. Yeah.
Warranty's gone as soon as a homeowner touches it, so. Probably don't want to do that. Never mind. Telephone wire was ripped out of the wall. There was construction going on at 6:30 a.m. on a Saturday, which scared us to pieces as it sounded like a bomb was going off.
That's not the hotel's
You're
fault.
in Charlotte. You're not in the Ukraine.
But that's not the hotel's fault. So
No, because construction workers usually work 6:30 to 2:30, 7 to 3.
I'm just saying, like, that has nothing to do with this review. So
Here's where it gets sketched.
Everybody who just heard that statement has to take that out of their memory. It's like a judge would wipe that from the whatever, you know?
Well, here's where it gets sketch. This is a female, Michelle. The mattress was worn out, causing my uncle to have a terrible back pain. Did they elope? Are they from West Virginia?
That's
Uncle Daddy?
Uncle. The mattress was worn out, causing my uncle to have terrible back pain. It doesn't say they got multiple rooms. They only have one room here.
Did she wear uncle out and flatten the bed? The mattress was worn out, causing my uncle to have terrible back pain. So that ruined the rest of the trip, I would
They
think.
messed it up.
Went back to the hills.
They left.
This day's inn is nothing. Look, she spelled it like the word inn, not the inn where you live.
Yeah,
This day's inn is nothing like ones we used to stay at.
nothing.
We will never return here. Oh, that's because Wyndham bought him out, probably. Then she goes, BTW. My carpet had white spots all over it. Which carpet? Her carpet or the carpet in the room?
No idea.
I mean, she's got an uncle there who he's not in a different room. What does that mean? My carpet had white spots all over it. And if you don't believe me,
what it says.
read. You can go to this hotel and read it for yourself.
And it means exactly what it says. By the way, my carpet had white spots all over it.
What carpet?
We don't know anything except her carpet had white spots all over it. That's all we know, and that's all we can go with. We can't assume anything.
She's also stupid because then she says, no idea what it was. You got white sprinkles in your carpet and you don't know how? My God!
Beware.
I would beware. I don't want to run into this lady or her uncle. They freak me out. So then we got the Brookwood Inn, George Lonnieville, 1 out of 5 on Google. If anything happens in G. Lovendike, is that his last name?
What?
In room 138, after the millionth time of drug dealers pull lung, P-U-L-L, lung, L-U-N-G, pull lung, up at my handicap door, leaving their high beams on while they make their drug deal, I complained. The woman demanded to know what room I was in. I refused to tell her. Then I hear her out talking to those people, talunging them. I'm trying to get these young girls out around here. What?
What?
This white man,
W-A.
mustache. In 4 days, I'm out. Can't deal the culture.
That makes zero sense whatsoever.
I think they're also users.
I think he was getting an I and a U confused many, many times because after the you aunt time, and then he says, pull you ing up. And then he had it again. Let's see, where else was it?
Something is wrong here. Don't know what it is. It feels kind of sketch.
Yeah.
So I went to Vernell Clay, same hotel.
Tell you ing.
1 out of 5 on Google. This place is a hotel from hell.
Where's Vernell sat? Oh, that's her name.
Bathroom camped, stopped up. Camped, like you went camping? Past tense. Camped, stopped up. They have one plunger and another room had it. Had to go across the street to use the bathroom. Unacceptable. The beds are no good. Rails are exposed. A little cut his back on one. It needs to be bulldozed down. A little what, boy?
Dude, I'm telling you.
A little wiener?
This is the worst reviews grammatically that I've ever seen in any state we've ever done reviews.
It's the first stolen rabbit we've ever reviewed.
Definitely a first rabbit, but
And they's gonna kill your ass dead. Y'all ass dead.
they's gonna kill your ass dead after they steal
your rabbit.
You rabbit.
Yeah, then they maybe Libby. We Libby'd the track.
Can't deal W the culture.
Wow.
You imagine if you read all these reviews together, they steal a rabbit from the place of the hotel from hell. Bathroom camped, stopped up. They have one plunger and another room had it.
So I got this idea.
About camping in a bathroom?
No, all these reviews.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, let's find them all together, go to a publisher, and sell them.
Just as a book?
Yeah, a book of reviews.
We could.
It would, if I didn't read these the way we read them, I would buy it. It would be so entertaining.
I think the way you read it helps make it entertaining.
Real.
We got to figure out how. So this show we're going to run through the.
Don't forget, this place sucks a big hairy ass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep doing this show through the end of the season, and then we're gonna take the off season off because we don't have any racing to talk about.
If there's some big news, maybe we'll go ahead.
Yeah, but we're gonna start up another show that we've been kind of throwing ideas around at. So we got to figure out a way to work reviews into that show. I enjoy reading reviews every week, so we got to make sure we work that in. But
well, if we go political, we're gonna change our names so we don't lose our jobs.
well, we won't go any more political than we do on this show.
Well, we might go deeper into it.
Yeah, but it's still.
I really hate politicians.
But
It's gonna be rated NR-17.
No, it ain't.
Oh yeah, I hate politicians.
I'm just saying. We ain't going down that rabbit hole. Not on a podcast. Not with our real name.
No.
All right, we're going to the Roval. Charlotte Roval is 2.28 miles in length. It has 17 turns and asphalt surface. It'll seat 166,000 in that layout. It's owned by SMI. They first ran the Roval in 2018. The race is at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC and PRN.
And Marcus, I thought we were buds. You turned down our press passes. Marcus.
Yeah, we knew that was coming.
What's going on,
It's a
Marcus?
playoff race.
DM me, Marcus.
We're just a podcast.
DM me, Marcus. We got to talk.
All right, Chase Elliott has 4 starts here, 2 wins, 3 top 10s. Blaney, 4 starts, 1 win, 4 top 10s. Larson, 3 starts, 1 win, 1 top 10. Logano, 4 starts, 4 top 10s. Alex Bowman, 4 starts, 4 top 10s. William Byron's led a total of 80 laps. Harvick's led a total of 34 laps. And Keselowski's led a total of 39 laps here. I was really scratching the bottom of the barrel to get fantasy stats together for the Roval. My picks for the Roval: Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney. Blaney.
So, I'm not going with any of yours. I'm going with Brad Keselowski. Oh, I didn't see Tyler Reddick there. Then Tyler Reddick. I'm not going with Chase because I think if I don't pick Chase, he's going to win. So I'm going to go with Kevin Harvick. And then I'm going with Suarez. Actually, let's make Suarez my number 1 pick.
Wouldn't it be, is it Dinosaurus? Like Dinosaurus, but Dinosaurus?
Yeah, Dinosaurus. We were driving, listening to NASCAR and Sirius. Sirius. Is it Sirius or Sirius?
Sirius.
And we heard this. I thought he was a hillbilly from Iowa, and I didn't think there were any from Iowa. Brad thinks the guy was from Arkansas. But he was calling Daniel Suarez in a way we thought he was saying dinosaurs.
He was saying dinosaurs.
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 I was like, isn't he saying dinosaurs? I'm like, I don't even know who that driver is.
Oh, dinosaurs is going to win.
Dinosaurs. So I'm going with dinosaurs.
To win it.
Then I'm going to go Brad Harvick.
All right. I think Chase is going to win, though. But
why? I think he's going to win if I don't choose him.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I think I have that much power over his driving ability.
Did I tell you about the Twitter spat I got into this morning?
With the man child?
Yeah. Dude was so I'm like one of the guys of the NASCAR community, at least on Twitter. It's Chaos Ball is Back. It's Brandon. He was on there and he called a dude a Darf. And I didn't know that apparently these two guys have a history. So my thing is, why we got you have two opinions here. They obviously don't agree with each other. My thing is, let's not jump straight into name calling, right? Well, I didn't know that Brandon had previous altercations with this individual, and I was just trying to bring some peace to the situation. Well, that other guy just lost his cool and proved that not only is he a Darf, he's kind of also a pretty rude individual.
Was that a dirty ass racing fan?
Not dirty.
I'm going for a review.
Dumb.
Oh, dumbass. Dirty, hairy ass racing fan? The Harf?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Brandon. Brandon's a cool dude. If you don't follow him, check him out. But it's Brandon's blog. It's at Brandon's blog too. So check him out. If you don't follow him, make sure you check him out. He posts a lot of good photos he takes at sporting events. So I think you'd enjoy it. But that's about all I got this week. What you got? Anything else?
No. Have fun at the Roval.
Yep, enjoy it. We'll catch y'all next week. So thanks to everyone who follows us, shares the show on social media, everyone who listens each week. We greatly appreciate it. Check us out on Spotify and rate us. Follow us on Twitter. We're at Car Backwards. Subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. And make sure you check out our website. It's racecarbackwards.com. Other than that, y'all have a great week, and we'll catch you after the Roval next week.
We'll see you, man.
Have a good one.
That's plural.
Bye-bye.
Man means man and woman. That's like man.
Thanks for listening to a race car spelled backwards.